I brought up Aaron Murray. Let's pivot to the other Georgia quarterback that we haven't spoken about in way too long. Guys, Stetson Bennett to the Ravens. What are we thinking? Todd Monken going to pick up his guy, maybe late day 2, day 3?
No.
I don't think it's the craziest thing I've ever heard.
I don't either, Roos.
I'm with you, Roos and Wes. Especially if you can bring Lamar back, to have a mobile quarterback. That's what you want in your backup quarterback, is a quarterback that is similar in skill set to what you have as a starter. To have a mobile quarterback, to have a mobile starter, you got to have a mobile backup. Otherwise, you got to completely throw out half your playbook. And Stetson has proven that he can be mobile.
I heard from an agent by the name of Hadley Engelhard.
Boy, I think you just made that up. I mean, the way, even your phrasing and the name of that person, it sounded totally. It's Mr. Hadley Engelhard.
Hadley Engelhard. If that's a fake name, then he made it up. Okay, because that's what he's running with on the 680 The Fan. He was on Chuck and Chernoff today, and he was talking about Monken's NFL contract, and he guessed it could be in the ballpark of about $3 million a year, which is more than he made at Georgia, of course. But to Palmer's point, they still don't know what Lamar Jackson will do. So that right there kind of gives me a little bit of pause. If they can't lock up Lamar, which you would think they would, you think, Monken's not going to take this job if he doesn't know that he's going to have some stability there. But if things are still up in the air a little bit, you absolutely want a guy who can help you transition to the NFL and has a little bit of knowledge and experience with what you want to do. I don't think it's crazy at all.
And Tyler Huntley is a free agent, is a restricted free agent.
I just I base this on rumblings of how these two kind of were a couple of male rams out in the wild, and they just kind of got up on those back legs and bam, a few times in front of everybody at practice. And I think, honestly, that worked in Georgia's favor a little bit of friction, a little bit of mix it up, a little bit of competitiveness. Stetson kind of hinted at it, and Monken has too, about kind of how they needed a buffer on game day. And that buffer was named Buster. And Stetson talked about how that guy needed to be there because both of them get pretty heated. I don't necessarily think those two are meant to work together, especially in a pro setting. I would be shocked if they worked together.
Wow. That's some knowledge.
You know what would be fun, though? What would be fun, and I'd love to see it because I love the kid. I do. I'd like to see, what if the Ravens capitalize on these Justin Field trade rumors?
That would be
Todd
cool.
Monken gets to work with Justin Fields. That'd be a lot of fun.
I just hope Lamar Jackson doesn't sink the Falcons franchise for the foreseeable future. That's my main concern here.
What are you talking about? Him going to
they're talking about a trade for him, and all the draft, basically all the draft capital they'd have to give up for him. I like Lamar Jackson. I think he's a great player, but I don't think I'd give up everything on the earth.
Yeah, I don't think I would either.
Yeah.
One of talking about Georgia players potentially going to Baltimore, who has the most Georgia players in the NFL on their roster this past season. They had Ben Cleveland, Justin Houston, Nick Moore, and Roquan. One of the mock drafts I wrote up on recently, I think it was an NFL.com one that went 3 rounds, had Kenny McIntosh to the Ravens in the 3rd.
Well,
That'd be pretty dirty.
And that was right just before the news of Monken to the Ravens broke. So
Kenny, the angry Irishman McIntosh.
I like that fit though. I like Kenny McIntosh as a Raven. That's a good.
I kind of do too, but I also don't want him to stay injured, and that's just what Ravens do.
Ravens get hurt.
What's going on in Baltimore? I don't know if Omar is out there running around shooting everybody with a rat shot or what. But
I miss Priest Holmes, baby. I mean,
yeah.
Well, and again, just looking at Ravens free agency here, they've got Kenyon Drake and Justice Hill both as free agents this year. So
it's the curse of Ray Rice.
There's a Ray before him too.
Indeed.
Charles?
Yeah.
Ray Charles?
No. No, listen, I think the Monken thing it's an interesting question for sure. And I think that my guess is there were at least some assurances or discussions had, right, in the favor of Lamar Jackson's going to stay. I think that the only way that doesn't happen, I mean, I agree that they're probably, Matthew C. commented that they're probably going to franchise him. I think that's going to happen as well. But I think that somebody's probably going to come along with a trade offer, and Baltimore probably sees the writing on the wall long term and, try to capitalize on it. I think that makes sense. But Monken's, I don't know, man. I mean, you never know with these NFL jobs. I mean, it really could be a situation. Let's say they do get Lamar Jackson back and they, shit the bed. I mean, Harbaugh's. How long are they going to keep Harbaugh around? I mean, at some point, there's going to have to be some changes made unless they just become a Super Bowl contender. And I'm not saying that they can't next year, but I just don't see it necessarily.
One out here about Baltimore is, guys, before it was that season that Lamar kind of came on for him late. There were rumblings about John Harbaugh getting fired.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And
people forget.
I mean, and maybe Todd Monken sees it. Maybe Todd Monken's like, 3-year contract, baby. And maybe he's like, hey, I'll go back to Georgia as an analyst, and I'll be like, Kirby, I ain't recruiting, or something like. I don't know, but this is not the stable situation that I think some folks think it is.
No, smashing. He's just gonna go.
They've made the playoffs 4 out of the last 5 years, guys. I mean,
that's great. That's phenomenal. Hey, Palmer, what are they going to do if they have to transition at quarterback?
I think they'll trade.
They barely got in they didn't exactly just blow everybody away and get into the playoffs this year, and they haven't done anything in the playoffs.
Well, Ro, that's what I was going to ask you. I mean, how quickly did this change earlier this week? I know that we talked about it briefly yesterday, but let's put a pin in it and move on from Todd Monken. It seemed like this was a quick 180. If not a 180, then a 270 or a 90 or something. You thought like, maybe he could be coming back, and then that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I think the pendulum really started like, somebody picked up that thing and just kind of dropped it and let it start swinging. Probably late weekend. And I think they liked Monken a lot, but they had some guys they definitely wanted to talk to after the Super Bowl. I think they were probably, from what I heard, and what I've been able to gather, I think there was probably a split between ownership and, I don't even know the way you'd say it, personnel department on or coaching staff between on Eric Bieniemy. I think some of the ownership really liked him a lot. But at the end of the day, who would I've lost my train of thought. I saw Matt.
Who would
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it's just a testament to how quickly these sands can shift in the NFL.
Yeah, 100%.
And the Bieniemy thing is just nuts, and it's kind of had a domino effect on everything. And
what's funny
that's how
there,
these coaching carousels go.
We don't get to see very many things from him, and I wonder. I mean, I'm sitting here thinking, if I'm him, listen. You probably want to go out and call plays, but I don't know, man. You hang on there enough under Andy Reid and keep winning and keep learning and keep doing your own thing, keep coaching good guys, keep getting more responsibility. Something good's going to happen to you. Why do you walk into any other situation? Hell, I mean, Andy Reid's not a spring chicken.
No, not at all.
Jesus, I can't believe we just used the same word. He's not. He's getting a little long in the tooth there. He's getting there long. Hey, Matthew C. I just want to let you know, Todd Monken tried to run Stetson Bennett off. Tried his damnedest. He couldn't do it.
You don't win, and not a lot of walk-ons out there pulling down the old NFL titles as much. So
no, that doesn't happen. Doesn't happen very much.